Hi everyone, today I'll discuss a PM interview question with you. So watch the video till the very end. The question is number of trips on Uber is down by 10% and you need to find the root cause and the potential solution to solve this problem. Right. As usual, we'll start with the clarifying question so that we have a better understanding of the problem statement. The first question we should ask is, should we even worry about this drop? Because it may happen that this kind of drop is usual in some season like festive season or some seasonality when drivers are not there on the platform. So the interviewer confirmed that the seasonality is not there and this is a big drop for them. The second question which we should ask is about the number of trip itself. So is this a drop only for certain type of trips like long trip, short trip, intercity trips, like, right? Because Uber has different type of trips option as well. Here the interviewer confirmed that this drop is across all type of trips on the platform, be it long, short, intercity or intracity. The third question which we should ask is about the categories. So is this the drop across all type of category available or some specific type of category like Uber Go, Uber XL, Moto, Auto? So this drop is across all type of category. The fourth question which we should ask is about the time frame and the nature of the drop. So the drop is the gradual from the last 1 month and this drop is across all type of devices, be it Android device or iOS device. The final question which we can ask is about the type of user, geography and demography. So here the drop is across all type of users in India. I think we have got a good idea about the question, but do let me know in the comment section if some part of the question is still unclear or we could have asked more clarifying question. It will help all of us to learn more and develop our thinking process. Now it is time to summarize whatever we have discussed till now. Number of trips on Uber has gradually reduced by 10% in India from last 1 month and there is no seasonality involved in this, right? And this drop is across all type of Uber categories. This is the problem statement which we have to find the root cause for and give the solution. Before jumping into diagnosing the problem, let's first understand the strategic importance of this metric. Number of Uber rides is the most critical metric for Uber. Even I think it should be the North Star metric for Uber as well, because more number of ride indicates more money to Uber because they charge commission, more money to driver also, and convenience to rider as he gets his destination, right? So this metric is sitting between all the three stakeholders who are involved in this, right? Now how should we go about solving this problem? We will consider potential factor that can be held responsible for the drop of this category. The factor can be related to system related factor, external factor and internal factor. The system-related factor can be change in metric definition, broken data pipeline for the metrics, incorrect event firing, or it can be bug introduced in the last production release. These can be some of the system-related factors which can affect this metric, right? But the interviewer confirmed that none of these factors has caused this issue. Now let's dig deeper into the external factors. The first factor can be related to the competition. So do our competitor start giving some lucrative discount to the riders or some new competitor has entered into the market? But our interviewer confirmed that that is not the case in the last 1 month. The second factor can be related to the economic downturn. It may happen that people have started with the alternative mode of transportation or public transport like metro or like public buses instead of using the ride hailing services. But this is also not the case as no major downturn has happened from in the last month, right? The third factor can be related to the government regulation or action related to maybe price or serviceability, but that is also not the case. The fourth factor can be related to the negative press release or some driver protest, which has affected the overall sentiment on the platform and riders are not feeling very safe for the ride hailing services and not willing to take rides. But the interviewer confirmed that that is also not the case. Can you guys come up with some more external factor which can affect this? Comment below and we'll see like who has given more number of external factor apart from this which are mentioned in this PPT. Now, since external factors are not the reason, let's focus on the internal factors. Internal factor can be some company related decision or some A/B test which we are running for some experiment or some for some new feature which we have recently developed. But our interviewer wants us to find out what can be the potential reason. He is not giving any hint. So what we have to do is like we have to do the funnel analysis. We will explore end-to-end funnel journey and see some of the critical metrics in that funnel and see where can be the drop. And based on that drop, we'll give some of the potential hypothesis to find the root cause. This is the approach we'll follow. So let's look at the funnel journey. If we have intent to book a ride via Uber, we first open the app. Then we put our destination location where we want to go. If we have multiple drops in between, we can put that destination as well. We can also schedule the ride at a particular time also. Once we have put the destination and hit the enter, we got to the page where we have multiple option of services like auto, moto, car, XL sedan, right? And these options are there with the price and ETA. We select our option and then request for a ride. One thing to note here is we don't always request for a ride if ETA or price is higher for our intended option, then we choose to drop off, right? Once we have requested to ride, Uber takes some time to connect with some driver. Sometimes the waiting time is very high. Even sometimes Uber is not able to connect to the driver as well. If we choose to cancel the ride because of high waiting time or wrong vehicle requested or wrong destination location, we have to request again. If Uber connect us with some driver, then we have to wait for the driver to arrive. Meanwhile, we also communicate with the driver for the exact location. Sometimes what happens is that even after accepting the ride, driver cancels the ride as well. If Uber is at your door, you give the OTP, you go to the destination, pay for the ride and rate it. This is the typical user journey of a person using a Uber for the ride hailing services. Now let's see some of the metrics in the funnel and ask the interviewer about the drop in certain metrics to build the potential hypothesis. At the top of the funnel, we will see daily active users, users who have opened the app at least once in a day. Those are the daily active users. Then we will also see some of the sessions per user. Finally, we would see the number of destination searches per session. Combining all of this will tell you if the intention of using Uber has gone down or not. The interviewer told us that there is a slight drop of 1 to 2%, not the 10% drop which is there in the question, right? So we have to keep that in mind and move forward in the funnel. The next set of metrics we will see are first the average number of options available for a particular destination. The interviewer confirmed that that hasn't changed. This is more or less the same. Second, we will check the number of ride requested. That means CTR on these buttons, right? So number of ride requested. The interviewer confirmed that yes, they have seen a major drop in the number of ride requested. So number of ride requested itself is down by 10 to 12%. That means people are not requesting for the ride. Some of the other metrics we will see is about the average matching time, split of cash versus online trip. This metric hasn't changed, they are in check. Now let's proceed further in the funnel. We'll check the ratio of the cancel ride versus ride requested. This will tell out of the ride requested by the user, how many rides are getting cancelled by them. This number is also fine. We will also see some of the metric type average pickup time. That means once the user has connected with the driver, how much time the driver is taking to come to the pickup location. Finally, we will track the metric like out of all the rides that are requested, how many of the rides are getting completed. This is also one of the critical metric which we will see. The interviewer says that all these metrics are fine. What does it mean? That means that there is a problem in the top of the funnel. Number of ride requested by the user has dropped. But once they have requested, the platform behavior is more or less the same. So after the user has requesting for a ride, there is no major drop, right? Post requesting the ride, there is no problem. I hope you are able to get this thing. Now we need to check why people are not requesting for the number of rides which they were doing before. So this is the screen where they are requesting for a ride. So what are the potential decision making factors here? So the first is users are not able to find their preferred option or the ETA, but that should not be the case because the interviewer has told us that average number of options are more or less the same, right? We have already discussed this. The other reason can be the mode of payment or payment option not getting selected. Are we running some A/B experiment where we have mandated the preferred option of payment, or we are taking the money upfront from the user before booking any ride? The interviewer confirmed that they haven't changed anything around the payment. So this is also not the reason. The final reason can be related to fares. Have we increased the price or stopped some of the promotional discount coupon recently? Yes, the interviewer confirmed that they are slowly removing all the coupon code and discount to improve the top line. Now we have find the reason why users are not requesting for a ride, which they were doing before. Lesser number of ride requested means lesser number of ride completed also. That is why the number of trips on Uber has reduced by 10%. So what we should do now? The first thing we can do is like having the rider mile point to retain the user on our platform. For example, when user has requested for a ride and completed the trip, we can give some of the ride mile points which can be redeemed in their next trip. The next thing is rider pass. So what we can do is like we can have the subscription pass of some price where user can subscribe and for entire month they will get minimum number of discount. That is where user will also stick to the platform and the number of ride requested will also not gone down. I hope you have learned something new from this video. Please subscribe to our channel if you feel like. I'll meet you into the next one. Till then, keep learning and keep watching. Today we will be discussing another and very different type of root cause analysis question. And the question is, number of emails sent via Gmail have reduced by 7%. How would you go about solving this? As usual, we will start with the clarifying questions so that we have a better understanding of the problem statement. The first thing which we should ask is about the metric. So when we say that number of emails sent out via Gmail has reduced by 7%, then it is a daily or monthly number of emails. Is there any seasonality involved? Right? These kind of questions which we have to ask. So for this, the interviewer tells us that they are measuring average number of emails sent per day, and there is no seasonality involved in this. The second question which we should ask is about the type of email. We have seen this kind of issue because there are different type of emails like primary emails, social emails, or promotional emails. So for this, the interviewer tells us that they are seeing an issue in the promotional emails. As you can see, Gmail has bifurcated the mails into primary, social, and promotional, right? So promotional emails are the one where we receive marketing, sales, offer communication by brands, sometimes newsletter if we have subscribed them, right? These kind of communication we receive in the promotional emails. So the issue we have seen in the promotional emails. The third question which we should ask is about the time frame of the drop. Is this drop across all type of devices, platforms? So for this, the interviewer tells us that this drop is happening from last 3 weeks across all type of devices, be it mobile, web, or across all type of platform, be it Android and iOS, right? The final question which we should ask is about the demography and geography, where the issue is happening. So for this, the interviewer tells us that the drop is happening across all type of users and primarily happening in India. I think we have got a good idea about the question, but do let me know in the comment section if some part of the question is still unclear to you. Now it's time to summarize whatever we have discussed till now. It is always better to summarize so that there is a better engagement between you and your interviewer. So daily average number of emails sent via Gmail have decreased by 7% gradually from last 3 weeks across all type of users, devices and platform in India. And this we are seeing for the promotional type of emails in Gmail, right? Now, before jumping into diagnosing the problem, let's first understand the strategic importance of promotional emails for Google. As we have now understood that promotional emails contain email containing offers, marketing communication, promotion of different product and from a different industry, right? So when we click any of those emails, the data is being utilized by Google to give you more personalized ad. So you should not be surprised if you have clicked some of the vacation related promotional email and next time you open YouTube, you will get the ad related to the vacation packages on YouTube, right? That is why it is very important for Google for more personalized and relevant real-time ads. I hope you are able to understand it, why it is important for Google. Now that we know how important it is for Google, how should we go about solving this? We will consider potential factor that can be held responsible for this drop, and the factor can be related to system-related factor, external factor, and internal factors. Here our interviewer tells us that they have verified and there is no system-related issue, no external issue. The interviewer wants us to focus on the internal issues. Now, since we have to focus on the internal factors, we need to understand how promotional email works at a very high level, right? First, users subscribe to future promotion newsletter offer, right? Once they have subscribed to future communication, it means that they will receive future automated promotional email. So at the designated interval, Google throttles some of the emails at bulk to all the user who have subscribed for this communication, right? All these email will not end up to the user's inbox. First, there is a Google site filtering happen. Google does some basic check like whether the email that is given by the user is valid or not, because when you subscribe it might happen that you have given the wrong email or by chance you have typed the wrong email. So there is a filtering at the Google server side. Then there is a user side filtering also, that is client side filtering that happens. For example, if you have shown some disinterested in some type of email or marked something spam, that will go on to your spam folder, right? So that is a user side filtering. Finally, after filtering, the email will hit your promotional inbox. Here, if you haven't clicked some email in quite some time, then Google prompt you to unsubscribe the communication, right? This is a typical journey of getting promotional email, that it is at a very high level. I hope you have got a better understanding of how things work. Let's see some of those metrics in the journey to find out exact root cause. what can lead to the 7% drop in the promotional emails, right? So starting, we will see average number of daily subscription. The interviewer tells us that that is more or less the same. Then we'll see another metric like average number of email throttle per second. That is email throttling rate. The interviewer tells us that the metric is also more or less the same. Then we'll move forward. We'll see filtering rate by the server side and the client side. That means from the Google server side and then the client side. Here the interviewer tells us that they have seen Google is filtering more number of email as compared to before. This can be potential issue for the drop in 7% in the total number of promotional email, right? Let's see a couple of more metrics like average number of unsubscription rate, number of spam marked by user. The interviewer tells us that these metrics are more or less the same. That means we have found out the issue. The issue is that the email are getting filtered from the Google side, right? Now that we know what is the issue, let's see what can be the different reasons for this issue. The first reason can be high image to text ratio. That means the email which are very heavily dependent on the images and contains very minimal text might be flagged as a spam or low quality emails. So we will ask our interviewer, have we seen such kind of emails getting picked up in the last 3 weeks? It can be because of the higher adoption of generative AI, which can create text to images, right? For this, the interviewer confirmed that Google server side don't have such kind of filtering. The second reason can be high bounce rate due to invalid email address or inactive email address, which is why a lot of filtering is happening. The interviewer confirms that this is also more or less the same. The third reason can be purchased email list. Have we seen in the past 3-4 weeks that the advertiser are using purchased email list, which majorly contain stale leads, right? Because you are purchasing them. And what will happen? There will be a lower CTR on the client side, which also can reduce the sender reputation, right? Which in turn lead to the filtering of a lot of email from that particular sender. The interviewer confirmed that this is also a good point, but they haven't seen such kind of issue. The final reason can be, has Google made the filtering mechanism more stringent, right? They have made their filtering mechanism more stricter. So that for that, the interviewer confirmed that yes, they have rolled out one feature 3 weeks back in which if any sender has sent out promotional email to the user 3 consecutive times and he hasn't opened it once, then the receiver will automatically get filtered out from the senders list. And this they are doing to unburden the email box of the user because he hasn't shown any engagement to that particular sender. So yes, that was the issue. I think you have learned something new from this video. I'll meet you into the next one. Till then, keep learning and keep watching. Hi everyone. Today we'll discuss a PM interview question with you, and the question is doing a root cause analysis. So Amazon has seen a drop of 6% in orders week on week. This is one of the most common interview question. Here the interviewer will look into your thought process and the problem solving ability. As usual, you should pause the video and think about the question on your own before watching this video. I hope you have given a fair try to this problem. Don't just watch the video for the sake of watching. If you really want to improve, you have to try it on your own and think about the every aspect of it. Let's see how we can go about this. So first, let's understand the question and define the scope of the problem so that you and your interviewer are on the same page. I hope everyone is aware about Amazon. Amazon Marketplace is an e-commerce platform where you can buy things and it will get delivered to your doorstep, right? So in this problem statement, it is given that Amazon Marketplace orders are down by 6% week on week. So let's start with some clarifying question. The first question which we should ask is, what does it mean by orders here? Is it order placed on the platform or number of successful order delivered or is it average order size? What is it we are talking about here? Let's assume that we are thinking about the number of order placed here. It is not the number of successful order delivered. It is number of the order placed on the platform. The second thing which we need to clarify is about the category of this order. Have we seen any pattern of the data that the order from a particular category has gone down or it is there for across all the categories? Let's assume that the orders have gone down primarily for beauty and personal care category. So here there is a specific category for which orders have gone down. The third question which we need to clarify is about the time frame or the nature of the drop. Should we even worry about this quantum of drop? Why am I saying that? For example, last week may be the Thanksgiving week or the sale event week. It is bound to happen that the orders will decline and it can decline by 6 or 7% week on week. So should we even worry about the 6 or 7%? So let's assume that last week wasn't a sale week or an events week. So we should be worrying about this drop. And This drop is across platform devices and it is a gradual drop from the last 2 weeks. The final question which we can clarify is whether this drop is seen across user cohort, geography, demography of users, or this drop is something specific to a certain type of user. Let's assume that this drop is seen across the user, geography, demography, and across all the cohort of users. I think we have got a good idea about this question, but do let me know in the comment section if some part of the question is still unclear or we could have asked more clarifying question. It will help all of us to develop our thinking process. So it is time to summarize whatever we have discussed till now. So Amazon has seen a 6% drop in number of orders week on week from last 2 weeks in beauty and personal care category. And this drop is seen across user cohort, geography and demography. And this is not related to any big sale event as per se. Before jumping on to diagnosing the problem, first let's understand the strategic importance of this metric for Amazon. This is one of the very critical metric for Amazon marketplace. This will not only have a direct impact on the revenue or profit, but also on the market share and the valuation as well. If that goes down, we should definitely be worried about and we should do a thorough RCA on this. Now what we will do? We will consider the potential factor that can be held account for this drop in the orders. So the factor can be related to system related factor, external factor and internal factors. In the system related factor, there can be factor related to a change in metric definition, change in event and instrumentation, breaking in the data pipeline or related to some timeout and bug. We have discussed each of these external issues in a great detail in previous video. You can refer to the previous video. But here let's assume that there is no such condition here. So we are sorted from the system related point of view. Now let's go to the external factor. In the external factor, a bunch of factors can cause this change. For example, if some competitor like Flipkart, Walmart, Target is running some lucrative discount or sale in some big commerce platform is going on, in that case, this will decrease the number of orders on our platform, which is Amazon. Let's assume that no such sale or big event is happening on any other platform. The second reason can be the occurrence of the natural disaster or calamities like COVID, which has disrupted the supply chain and people are not able to order it or they are not ordering due to some kind of uncertainty. This can also lead to the decline in the number of orders. But if that would be the case, then our competitor would have seen the same kind of decline or even more, right? But let's assume that this is not the case and we are the only one who is facing this kind of decline. There can be other external reasons as well, like negative coverage or fraudulent coverage, or there can be supply related issue for the particularly for the beauty and personal care related item. So a lot of items are stocked out, then we are not able to process the order. Right? These can be the external factors as well. But let's assume that everything is fine from the external side and we should move to the internal side. Lastly, let's see some of the internal reasons which can cause this issue. It might happen that we have released some kind of features which is not performing that well. So it can be the case, right? So we have to dig deeper into that. And how should we dig deeper into this? Via the user funnel or funnel journey, so that we can attribute on what layer we are performing some of the experiment and this experiment is not working well as per our expectation, right? This we have to do. So let's start with the funnel journey. Amazon get traffic via three main sources: organic sources, inorganic sources, or the paid sources. People who are coming directly from the app are the ones who are from the organic sources. And there are people who are coming via sources like social media. YouTube also contribute to the inorganic sources, right? And then there comes the paid sources. What does it mean by paid sources? For example, when you search something on Google, right, you get a advertised link from Amazon in the search result. That is the paid sources. So all of these three things contribute the traffic to the Amazon platform. This should be clear, right? Once they get onto the Amazon platform, they start browsing the product which they have to buy or they intend to purchase. And there can be different sources of their discovery. For example, they can search on the platform, they can browse the homepage, or they can also use some of the recommendation which are shown on the homepage. And via all of these three things, they are kind of browsing the brands and product on the platform. While discovering, they land on the collection of product, right? This is the collection of product. This is known as a PLP, product list page. They browse the product on the product list page, which is PLP. They can also do filter or sort product based on their requirement. They can also click on one of the product and reach to the PDP. This is the product detail page. So PDP is the page where detailed information like product description, product delivery date, product reviews from customers, and some related products are also there. From the product detail page, they look for the reviews from the customers. And these reviews are acting as a trust marker for the product, and people are always seeing those reviews before buying any product. Now, if they are okay with all these things, what they do is like they add the product into their cart, right? Once they have add product to the cart, they can go to the cart page or address page. They select the relevant delivery address, and then they go to the payment page where they do the payment and place the order. This is the journey of a user while purchasing on Amazon platform. This should be very clear. Once we have identified the journey, it is time to see the metric to find out at which layer the drop is happening. First, we will track the traffic coming on the platform from all the sources. We will check if the traffic has reduced or not. If it has reduced, from what channel it has reduced. But let's assume that we haven't seen any drop from any of the channel. That means we are getting the traffic on Amazon platform. Then we will see daily active users that will also not drop because the traffic on the platform is in check. We will track session per user. This will give an idea how engaged our users are on the platform. We will also check metric like search fired per user, click-through rate on the homepage, click-through rate on the recommendations, which will tell if people are having some kind of difficulty discovering the product on the platform. Suppose all of these metrics are also in check. That means that people are searching on our platform, they are clicking on the widget on the homepage or recommendation, so there should not be any drop here. Let's move forward. After that, you will go to the product list page, commonly called as a PLP. Here you have a list of product based on your search query or the banner which you have might have clicked from the home page, right? Here we will filter out or sort out the product based on our preferences. Here we will see some of the metrics like zero search result, low recall search result. For example, whenever you are searching on the platform and you find that there are less number of products or no products on the platform for your search query, it will be a broken experience for you. You will not intend to buy from it because you are not having the ample selection on the platform for your search, right? This is a problem. But here everything is in check. We are not seeing any zero search result or low recall search result. We will also check the median scroll depth. That will tell how many people are scrolling on the PLP. What it will denote if people are finding the relevant selection on the PLP or not. Then we will check PLP to PDP conversion. That means how many people are moving forward in their journey, like moving forward to the product detail page. Let's assume that all these metrics are looking healthy. No major drop is coming here. Now on the PDP product detail page, we will see how many PDP views are happening. Why it is important? Because take a situation that you are on PLP and get a list of result for your search query. Earlier, out of those lists, you were opening on an average 3 PDP, but now you are opening only 1 PDP. That means you are not liking the product from your search result on PLP, right? That is why you are not clicking on the product and hence PDP views will go down. But let's assume that number of PDP views are also looking healthy. Other thing we will see is out of all the people who are coming onto the product detail page, how many people are doing ATC? That means how many people are doing add to cart? Yes, that has reduced. That means that there's a drop in the funnel from PDP and we need to dig deeper onto this, right? So on PDP product detail page, we will see a bunch of metrics like impression on review section. That means are people seeing reviews or not? Impression on ATC, add to cart. Are people seeing the add to cart button or not? Click on ATC. Are people clicking on add to cart button or not? Clicks on buy now. Are people clicking on buy now button or not? Let's assume that the impression on review section, impression on add to cart button, impression on buy now button are all in check, but the click on add to cart button had dropped. That means people are not adding items on their cart, though they are coming to add to cart. They are seeing that button, but they are not doing that. So there might be some information availability or some kind of friction we are creating. That is why people are not doing add to cart. So we have to make certain hypotheses around this. If people are not doing add to cart, the subsequent funnel will also get dropped. Now let's understand what can lead to this drop. But before that, let's understand what is the goal of PDP. PDP, which is product detail page, help user to make the decision by giving information regarding reviews, price, delivery date, and many more. So let's start making hypotheses around it. The first hypothesis which we can build is, have we pushed the add to cart button down on the PDP? Why we will do so? Because it might happen that we wanted to cross sell our other categories. So we have pushed the recommendation or related products up and we have moved the add to cart button down. In that case, not many people will reach to the add to cart and drop can happen. But from the metrics, we have seen that the impression on add to cart button hasn't dropped. That means people are coming down the funnel, but they are not clicking that. This seems unlikely to be the case. The second hypothesis which we can build is, has the delivery TAT increased due to some unforeseen circumstances? Which is why people are bouncing back from the platform after seeing the delivery date. Because earlier we were delivering in 1 or 2 days, but now the entire delivery date is like after 1 week or 10 days. That is why people are coming till add to cart when they are seeing the delivery date is beyond 10 days and they are bouncing back from the PDP. But that is also unlikely to be the case. Why? In that case, the drop should be across all the categories. But we are seeing the drop in particularly beauty and personal care category. That is why this is also seemingly unlikely to be the case. Now let's move on to the third one. Have we had some kind of taxes on the platform, which is why people are not adding to the cart? But because of the same reason, this would have been caused a drop in across all the category. That is why it is also not the reason. And finally, we can also make up our fourth hypothesis because beauty and personal care category is a replenishment heavy category. People tend to buy the same product again and again once their earlier product get over. So have we changed something on that line? So yes, we have made changes on that line. We have made subscription as the default option in which people have to subscribe to our product so that it can be automatically ordered from their account. The subscription frequency can be of 3 months, 6 months. Because we have made this as a default option, people might get confused about the subscription or if they don't want to make commitment for their next purchase right now. This can lead to a drop in the order. So yes, this was the case due to which our 6% orders has dropped from for BBC category. Since we have got the root cause, how would we go about solving this problem? One way to solve the problem is to make one-time order as the default option and give a nudge to user to subscribe along with the future incentive. The other thing which we can do is to have some push notification of the item they have bought. Let's say after 3 or 6 months for the replenishment, we have sent some of the push notification to remind them if they want to replenish the order or not. I hope you have learned something new from this video. I will meet you on to the next one. Till then, keep learning and keep watching. Hi everyone. Today I'll discuss a PM interview question and the question has been asked so many times in the recent time. So watch the video till the very end. The question is, YouTube watch time is down by 5%. So how would you go about solving this? So as usual, we'll start with the clarifying question so that we have better understanding of the problem statement. So don't jump into the data directly. First, narrow down the scope of the problem and apply some common sense. Then only jump into seeing some of these metrics, right? The first thing we should clarify is about the metric, YouTube watch time, right? How are we calculating YouTube watch time? So the interviewer tells us that it is average number of minutes watched per user per day. The second question which we should ask is if this drop is related to a particular type of videos like long form video, short form videos, or video belong to certain category or genre. So for this, the interviewer confirms that the drop is across all category of videos and primarily long form of the videos. The third question which we should ask is about the source of the drop because people watch videos on the YouTube from different type of sources like homepage, then there is a search as a source, then there is a suggested video or playlist, right? So is it across all type of source system? So for this, the interviewer confirms that the drop they are seeing is primarily from the home page. The fourth question which we should ask is about the time frame and the nature of the drop. So the drop is gradual from the last 1 month and this drop is across all type of devices, be it Android or iOS, but primarily on the mobile devices. The final question which we can ask is about the type of user, geography and their demography. So for this, the interviewer tells us that the drop is across all type of users in India. I think we have got a good idea about the question, but do let me know in the comment section if some part of the question is still unclear or we could have asked more clarifying question. It will help all of us to learn more. Now it is time to summarize whatever we have discussed till now. It is always better to summarize so that there is a better engagement between you and your interviewer. So the watch time is down by 5% and this drop is coming from homepage across all type of video categories, devices, demography, geography and primarily from the long form of videos on mobile. So this is how our question is looking like. Before jumping into diagnosing the problem, first let's understand the strategic importance of this metric. Average watch time is the most critical metric for YouTube. And if it is coming from long form of the videos, it becomes even more important. Why? Because more watch time means more ad revenue for YouTube, more money for creator, and that also means content consumers are enjoying the platform. Since long form of the video have a higher scope of ads, right? The kind of revenue which YouTube will be generating from long form of the videos will be in the order of magnitude of the short form of the videos, right? That is where it is important for us to see this metric. Now that we know how important it is for YouTube, how would you go about solving this problem? We will consider the potential factor that can be held responsible for the drop of in the watch time. The factor can be related to system related factor, external factor, and internal factors. The system related factor can be change in metric definition, broken data pipeline, incorrect event firing, or it can also be a bug introduced in the last production release. But none of these factors have caused this issue. If you want to learn more about these kind of issues, we have covered this in the earlier videos. You can find the playlist in the I button. Now let's dig deeper into the external factor. The first factor can be related to the competition. Two or competitors have content which has become trendy, or some new season has launched for some legendary shows like Game of Thrones, or some OTT platform has started free giveaways like 2 month free content, right? So our interviewer confirms that no such thing happened in last 1 month. The second factor can be related to the seasonality or global trends. Is it a holiday season, or events like IPL has started, which has caught the attention of so many people and YouTube watch time has taken a hit? The third factor can be related to the government related action, like seizing the internet connection in some of the areas in India due to political or social unrest. But this is also not the case. The interviewer confirms that. Finally, there can be factor like some social media trends against YouTube, like hashtag don't waste time scrolling Instagram and YouTube, which is why people are momentarily reducing its usage. The interviewer tells us that no such social media campaign has happened in last 1 month. So can you guys come up with some more external factors? If you do, let me know in the comment section. Since external factors are not the reason for this, now let's focus on the internal factors. Internal factor can be related to company related decisions. Some A/B test that we are running, or some adjacent team is running, or we have introduced some new features. But our interviewer wants us to find out what can be the potential reasons for this drop. So what we will do, we will explore the end-to-end journey of the user, exploring content from the homepage, and then see some of the critical metrics that will help us to narrow down the root cause and give solution accordingly. So let's see funnel journey. People who use homepage in general don't have strong intent in the mind, because intent heavy customer will use search, right? So the users open the app and land on the homepage. Since the user has exploratory intent, the user doesn't have any specific intent in mind. So what user will do? Users will start scrolling. He will start browsing the homepage and scrolling down the homepage, right? While scrolling the homepage, if users find something interesting, the user will click on it and start watching, right? So he will click on it and start watching. If the user is not able to find anything, he will quit or uses search. Once user has clicked on any of the video on homepage, the user will land on the video page. This is the video page where he watches the video. If he liked the video, he chooses to watch the complete video, or he can also choose to drop in between, right? User can also share, like, comment the videos. User can also click on the suggested videos, right? So this is a typical journey of a user exploring content on YouTube via homepage. So if you're watching this video till now, you can also like this video so that it can reach us to the maximum number of people. Now let's see some of the metrics in the funnel and ask the interviewer about the drop in certain metrics to build the potential hypothesis. At the top of the funnel, we will see daily active users, users who open the app at least once in a day. Then we'll also see sessions per user. This will tell if there is any problem at the top of the funnel. If let's say we have seen a drop of 5% in the number of users coming on the platform itself, then definitely the watch time will also reduce, right? But our interviewer confirms that we are not seeing any drop in the daily active users or session per users. So we'll move forward in the funnel journey. Here we will see bunch of metrics like homepage click-through rate, CTR, that will tell how many people are clicking on the homepage. Then we will also see scroll depth. What is the scroll depth? Scroll depth is average number of scrolls users are making on the homepage. We will also see bounce rate. That means people are coming onto a homepage and doing nothing. They just bounce off the platform. That is the bounce rate. Here the interviewer confirms that we have seen a dip in the homepage CTR. That is, people are not clicking on the homepage, although they are scrolling and browsing, but they are not clicking. That is where scroll depth and bounce rate are more or less the same, but there is a dip in the homepage CTR. What does that mean? That means people are not finding things that interest them on the homepage, and hence they are not clicking on it, right? But they have an intent of browsing. That is where the scroll depth is more or less the same, but they are not finding the content that interests them. So we'll keep that in mind. So this can be the potential hypothesis for dropping in the average view time, but let's move further in the funnel to see what other hypothesis can be. Once they click on the video, they will land on the video page where they start watching it. We'll see some of the metrics here as well. First metric we will see is the average view duration, right? Till how long the viewers are watching. Second, we will also see ads frequency, because it may also happen that we are now showing more ad to the user, which is hampering the user experience. And now they are churning from the platform. This can also lead to the drop in the watch time also. One more thing, there can be different type of ads. For example, some ads are skippable, some ads are non-skippable. So have we increased the frequency of non-skippable ads, which is hampering the user experience? But for all of these, the interviewer tells us that none of these metrics has changed that much over the last 1 month. Finally, we will see some of the metrics like, dislike, comment, share. All of these metrics are also unchanged in the last 1 month. So what we have comprehend here, there is an issue with the content which we are surfacing on the homepage, right? Once user has clicked the content, there is no problem, because the average view duration, nothing of that sort is kind of decreasing, right? All of these things are in check. So the content which we are publishing or surfacing on the homepage, there is some problem. So let's break it down further. So what can be the factors on the homepage that can lead to this? So there are 2 3 factors. First is what are the content, the ranking of the content, and the structure of the homepage. All of those 3 things will play an important role. So let's go one by one. First, have we introduced some features around thumbnail? For example, have we allowed creator to upload multiple thumbnails for a video, and based on the performance, YouTube will automatically choose one thumbnail. So somewhere have we changed something regarding the thumbnail, but the interviewer confirms that there is nothing regarding the thumbnail we have changed. The second hypothesis will be around ranking of the content. Have we made some changes around personalization algorithm of homepage? The interviewer confirms that they haven't changed anything in the personalization recommendation of videos on the homepage. So that is also not the case. Finally, have we changed the structure of the homepage? And this change in the structure is hampering the discovery of the relevant content of homepage. So for this, the interviewer confirms that yes, they have made the changes regarding the structure of the homepage. They have increased the non-video related content. For example, this is a post content, this is a short content, this is advertised, then there is a new widget. So they have changed the structure of the homepage in such a way that they are increasing the frequency of non-video related content on the homepage to drive the adoption of the other feature like shorts, post, or some this kind of feature. And this will affect on the mobile more, because in the desktop still you can see a lot of videos at once, but in the mobile, due to limited real estate, you will not be able to see a lot of video. You will always be able to see a single entity of content in the viewport. That is why it may happen that people are not able to find the engaging video related content. Now, to make sure that this is the issue, we will see one more metric, that is average number of video card viewed per user on homepage on mobile device. Yes, that is also seen a dip. Now we are sure that what is the issue. Now that we know what is the issue, what should we do? First, we should understand why there was a change in the structure done in the first place. There would be some hypothesis there initially has thought of, like increasing the monetization revenue from ads on homepage, or increasing the adoption of the other type of content like shorts or some post content, right? So what is the overall platform benefit are we getting? If it is positive, overall platform benefit is positive, then we may choose to stick with it. Or what other thing we can do is like homepage layout personalization. So for example, what we can do is like people who have shown a great interest in, let's say, YouTube shorts, YouTube post, we can choose to increase the frequency of these type of content. But there will be some people who are not very much engaging with shorts or these kind of posts, then we may choose to increase the video related content for them on the homepage. That we can do homepage layout personalization. I hope you have learned something new from this video. I will meet you into the next one. Till then, keep learning and keep watching. Today we'll discuss a very different type of root cause analysis question, and this question has recently been asked in Google Product Management interview. Watch the video and you will learn a lot about tech side of things. The question is, YouTube buffering rate has increased by 10%. How would you go about solving this? So as usual, we will start with the clarifying question so that we have a better understanding of the problem statement. The first thing which we should ask is about the buffering rate and how we are measuring this buffering rate. So for this, the interviewer tells us that they are measuring a specific metric for this. That is average buffering duration divided by average view duration. So what does it mean? This will tell what is the proportion of the video that will gets the buffer, right? And that has increased by 10%. The second question which we should ask is about the type of the video where this buffering has increased. So for this, the interviewer tells us that the buffering has increased for popular or the trending long form video. So mark this word long form of the video, and that is popular or trending. The third question which we should ask is about the time frame of the buffering issue. Is this across all type of devices or the platform? So for this, the interviewer tells us that buffering issue is happening from the last 3 days across all type of devices, be it mobile device, web device, and across all the platform, be it Android or iOS. The fourth question which we should ask is about the demography and geography, where this issue is happening. So for this, the interviewer tells us that buffering is happening across all type of users, primarily happening in India, right? So now I think we have got a good idea about the question, but do let me know in the comment section if some part of the question is still unclear. Now it is time to summarize whatever we have discussed till now. It is always better to summarize so there is a better engagement between you and your interviewer. So YouTube buffering has increased by 10% on trending or popular videos, that is long form of the videos, and this drop is gradual from the last 3 days across all type of users, all type of devices and platform in India, right? This is the summarization of whatever we have discussed till now. Now, before jumping into diagnosing the problem, first let's understand the strategic importance of this metric. For YouTube, it is one of the critical metric to observe. Why? Because high buffering means low user satisfaction, which in turn leads to low watch time and low advertising revenue for YouTube. So it is very important for YouTube to monitor this metric and take corrective action if something goes wrong. Now that we know how important it is for YouTube, how should we go about solving this problem? We will consider potential factors that are responsible for this drop. The factor can be related to system-related factor, external factor, or internal factor. In the system-related factor, the factor can be change in the metric definition, broken data pipeline, incorrect instrumentation, but none of these has caused this issue. If you want to learn more about these issues, watch our previous videos and you will know what does it mean by incorrect instrumentation, what does it mean by data pipeline, right? Now let's dig deeper into the external factor. The first factor could be related to the low internet connection. It may happen that the telecom providers are running with some internet kind of issue that is causing buffering. But our interviewer confirms that there is no such issue they are aware of. The second factor can be related to the natural disaster, which has disrupted the internet connection, but it is also not the case. The third factor can be related to VPN. So assume that there is a grand announcement by a big company for the VPN and which has led to the high adoption in the last 3 days because VPN connection is in general slow due to too many hops of the data request and response travel. But the interviewer confirms that that is also not the case. The fourth factor can be related to the malware attack. Have we seen some malware attack in India which is causing this kind of issue on YouTube? The interviewer confirms that there is no such issue. Their security systems are kind of very robust. Since external factors are not the reason for this, now focus on the internal factors. Internal factor can be related to company decisions, A/B test, or some experiment that is running. But our interviewer wants us to find out what can be the potential reasons for this drop. So for this, we need to dig deeper into the funnel analysis to find out what can be the potential reasons for this. So what we will do, we will explore the end-to-end funnel journey of watching video on YouTube. This will help us to narrow down and find out the root cause. So once user opens the YouTube, the user will land on the home page, right? Either user can start browsing the home page or the user can go on to search in the search bar. When user search on the search bar, he will land on the video list page, or if user tap on any of the video, user will land on the video page. This is the video page. And user can experience some buffering while watching the video, right? This is the point where buffering can happen. So if we want to find out the root cause for this, we need to understand how video plays on the YouTube. What happens when you tap on some video and video starts playing? Yes, let's understand the journey. When the video start playing, don't panic after seeing this diagram, but be with me. It will be very easy for you and it would be a great learning. When you request for some video from your phone or desktop, that means click on the video. When you click on certain video, a request goes from the device to the web server over internet, right? The web server then route your request to various destination. For example, if you are requesting for some popular or trendy videos, your request will go to CDN. Now you will say, what is CDN? So let's understand with the help of an example. Imagine you want to order a book from a giant online store. At first, the store only has one warehouse far away from the customer. If you order a book, it has to travel a long distance and taking a lot of time to arrive, right? This could be frustrating for you if you are very excited to read that book. Now, to improve the delivery, the store decided to set up small warehouses across the cities in the country. This warehouse only stock the popular books, which are kind of a bestseller or hot seller. After this, if you order a popular book, what will happen? The store will check which warehouse is the closest to you and that will have that popular or the hot seller book. Then they use the delivery to send the book from that warehouse and you get the book like in a few hours, which was earlier taking days or some days, right? Now, if you would have ordered a brand new book, which is not popular, right, which is not popular, in that case it may not be available for the local warehouse, right? It would have come from the main warehouse. It will always take time if you have to come from the main here. So these small warehouse which store popular books are considered to be a CDN. So this CDN stores the popular content across the globe to deliver the content faster to you. So if you are watching a cricket World Cup highlight in India, it will come from a CDN very close to you, right? I hope you are able to understand this from this analogy. If the content is not popular or it is very new content, then the request go to the application server, right? The application server route your request to the backend where the request get processed in terms of resolution and all other things, right? Based on the metadata, the video gets delivered to you from the YouTube database. If the video you have requested is kind of getting popular, right, is kind of becoming trendy, in that case CDN will also get update that with that video, right? Because it has to store popular or trendy videos. So the next time it should be available in the CDN or you can say the local store. Now that we understand at a very high level what happens when you click on a video, right? So what can be the potential cause of buffering? There can be different things which can cause buffer to happen. The first thing is inefficient routing. So the web server is not routing you to the nearest CDN for the user. Maybe we have experiment for some optimization of the network or the route, but which is not working as expected. The second reason can be it can happen that in last 3 days, some videos are becoming very popular and kind of receiving too much traffic and YouTube hasn't planned for this much traffic. That is where the popular videos are not get updated in all the CDNs and they are fetching the video from the main warehouse, right? That is why the buffering is happening. The third reason can be some popular YouTubers in India. What happening is like they have recently released the video which is very complex in animation or which is like a very high resolution. That is why it is taking some time for processing and causing this buffer. So here the interviewer confirms that they had recently rolled out an A/B experimentation for optimization of routing from the web server to different CDNs and that which is not performing as planned. So they have to dig deeper into this, like what is the optimization they have done and how can they improve in the future. So yes, that was the issue. I think you have learned something new from this video. I will beat you into the next one. Till then, keep learning and keep watching. Hi everyone, today we'll discuss an Amazon product management interview question. So watch the video till the very end. This is a root cause analysis question and the question is Amazon has seen a decline in the notification open rate and you need to find the root cause of it. So watch the complete video because certain concepts are not in the PPT and I do the voiceover only. So listen carefully. Yes, as usual, we will start with the clarifying question so that we have a better understanding of the question. The first question which we should ask is what type of notification are we talking about here? Is it push notification? Is it in-app notification or some browser notification like Chrome notification? So here the interviewer is talking about push notification. The second question which we should clarify is about the open rate. Are we only thinking about clicking, or conversion of the push notification is also considered here? So here we are only thinking about clicking the push notification. Whether a user get converted or not, we are not bothered about this. Now we know that push notification open rate has fallen, but what time frame are we considered here? How is the drop? Is it gradual or is it sudden? This is our third question. So the interviewer has told us that the notification open rate reduced suddenly when the first COVID lockdown restriction get lifted. Hope you are able to get it, right? As this drop was seen across all the platform, devices and category on Amazon. The final question which we should ask is about what type of user, demography or geography are we seeing? Is this drop across the certain type of user, or all type of users are considered here? So here the drop is across all type of user. I think we have got a good idea about this question, but do let me know in the comment section if some part of the question is still unclear, or we could have asked more clarifying question. It will help all of us to learn more, right? Now it is time to summarize whatever we have discussed till now. Amazon has seen the drop in the open rate of the notification suddenly when the restriction of the first COVID lockdown got lifted in India. This drop was seen across the devices, platform, category, and type of users. Right. So before jumping on to diagnosing the problem, let's first understand the strategic importance of push notification. What is the primary use case of push notification? So push notification are used to boost engagement of the user, conversion, and also the brand recall, brand awareness, right? They aim to personalize communication, drive sales, and eventually improve the overall customer experience. That is what the push notification are for. Now that we know what is the strategic importance of push notification, how should we go about solving this problem? We will consider potential factors that can be held responsible for this drop. This factor can be related to system-related factor, external factor, or internal factors. The system-related factor can be change in metric definition, incorrect event firing, broken data pipeline, or it can be a bug introduced in the last production release. Right? These can be the potential high-level system-related factors which can cause this issue. But none of these factors has caused this issue. Now let's dig deeper into the external factor. The first factor can be related to the competition. That means some competitor has entered into the market just after COVID and offering a very lucrative discount, or the pricing and selection is very good. That is where a lot of people is diverted from the Amazon. But this wasn't the case. The second factor can be related to the brick or mortar store. That means due to COVID, the supply chain of all big e-commerce player was broken, right? So it may happen that brick and mortar stores start their own delivery services to house. This will also reduce the number of users that are going on big e-commerce player, right? The third factor can be related to the negative PR. Although the lockdown has lifted, but there might be some negative coverage regarding the safety protocols followed in the warehouse of big e-commerce player. That is why people are worried and don't want to order from the e-commerce player like Amazon or Walmart or Flipkart, right? Hence, there was no interest in the notification as well. The fourth factor can be related to the boycott of Chinese product, because people were very aggressive at that point of time from the COVID outbreak, hence they don't want to buy Chinese product and overall boycotting the e-commerce platform. This can be one of the potential reasons. If you can think of some other issues, please do comment in the comment section below. Let's see who can bring more factors from the external side. But our interviewer has told us that none of these external factors were the root cause of the problem, and we need to think about the internal factors. Now what we will do, we will focus on the internal factors. In internal factor also, the interviewer told us that they haven't released any new feature or shipped any new feature during COVID. So now we have to go via the funnel journey of the notification. So we will go into the notification funnel journey of the user and analyze the root cause and where the drop can happen. So this will be our approach now. So let's see the notification funnel journey. So Amazon first pushes the notification to the user. There can be different type of push notification. It can be event driven push notification or generic push notification as well. If we talk about the event driven push notification, they are the ones which get fired as soon as you do a certain action on the platform. For example, if you have added something into the cart and you haven't purchased in last 3 days, a push notification will get fired. Then user receive the push notification on the app and sees it. If user finds it useful, he will click it, or what he will do is like he will just swipe it out, right? After that, if user clicks on the notification, he will land on the Amazon app. This is what the funnel journey of notification will look like. So this is the funnel journey of notification, right? Let's see some of the metric to find out what is working and what's not working. The first metric which we'll track is the number of notifications sent by Amazon to a user per day. And yes, that has increased. That means we are sending more notification to the user per day. The other metric which we will track is number of notification received by a user per day, which is also increased because we have given more notification. The system has generated more notification. Then we will also check the CTR. CTR is click-through rate on the notification. So CTR will basically represent out of all the notification we have sent to the user, how many he has clicked. That is what the CTR will tell. So if we are sending more notification to the user, we will expect user to click more, right? So if we are sending more notification to the user, our general tendency is to expect that user will click on more notification. But that is not happening because CTR has reduced. So if we are sending more and more notification, but the clicks on the notification hasn't increased. That is why our CTR is also down. Then we will check number of landings per user per day on Amazon app by a notification. That is the same. So what is happening here? Even if we are sending more and more push notification to the user, they are not clicking on it. They are clicking the number of notification as they were doing before. Increasing the number of notification hasn't increased the number of clicks. That is what happening here. So what can be the potential hypothesis for this drop? The first hypothesis is we are sending irrelevant push notification, or we have changed the way we are sending the push notification, the text style or the image or the color of the notification we have changed, but it wasn't the case. The second thing can be because this occurred just after the first lockdown get lifted. It might be the case that during the lockdown many items were unserviceable and undelivered, right? So people might have added the item into the wish list or set a reminder notification as soon as it is serviceable to their location. Now that the lockdown has lifted, the items are serviceable and system started exploding the number of notification of all the item they have set the notification for, right? And people feel like spam because all the items are serviceable now and system has generated a lot of notification and people are not clicking that. Yes, that was the reason. And interviewer has told us that the number of wish list and reminder have increased in the lockdown. So that was the reason. Now we have find out what was the reason. How will you solve about this problem? The first thing we can do is set a rate limit on the number of push notifications sent by a system to a user in a day. The second thing which we can do is the bundling of the push notification and sending a notification in a very smart and the creative way to the user. In that, we will send the required information, all the information to the user, but user will also not feel like a spam because we are bundling the information. I hope you have learned something new from this video. Please subscribe to our channel if you feel like. I will meet you into the next one. Till then, keep learning and keep watching. Hi everyone, today we'll discuss a PM interview question with you, and the question is doing a root cause analysis. So response rate of LinkedIn messages is down by 5% and we need to find the root cause. The question has been asked a couple of times in last 2-3 months, so watch the video till the end. Here the interviewer will look into your thought process and the problem solving ability. As usual, you should pause the video and think about the question on your own before watching the solution. I hope you have given a fair try to this problem. Don't just watch a video like watching a movie. If you really want to improve, you have to try it on your own and think about the every aspect of it. Let's see how we can go about this. So first, let's start understand the question and define the scope of the problem so that you and your interviewer are on the same page. I hope everyone is aware of LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the world's largest networking platform for working professionals. You can use LinkedIn to find jobs, networking with working professionals, or to learn new skills, right? The first question which we can ask is about what does it mean by response rate? So response rate is defined as number of responses per messages received. In the question, it is given that response rate has fallen. What does it mean? It means that when you receive one message, either you are not replying or you are replying with lesser number of messages. That is what is happening here. A second question which we need to ask is whether this belong to a certain category, as in direct messages, sponsored messages, in-mails, ads, or is it across the platform? Yes, the response rate has fallen for all type of text messages across the platform, majorly on the direct messages. The third thing which we need to clarify is about the time frame of the drop. Have we seen this drop for some particular device like desktop, mobile, or is it across the platform of devices? So here the drop is from the last 2 weeks and it is across the platform and devices. The fourth question which we need to ask is about the type of users. So when we are saying that response rate is going down, is it going down for a particular type of users like influencers, recruiters, or people who are highly engaged? Maybe they have 10K plus followers on the platform. Have we seen some kind of pattern here? But let's assume that there is no pattern that we have observed. It is across all type of users. I think we have got a good idea about the question, but do let me know in the comment section if some part of the question is still unclear, or we could have asked more clarifying question, or some part of clarifying question is left. It will help all of us to develop our thinking process. So it is time to summarize whatever we have discussed till now. LinkedIn has seen a drop in the response rate, that is number of responses per message received across all type of messages, be it focused message, sponsored message, and this drop is across the devices, geography, and user cohort. And we are thinking about the textual reply here. So before jumping into the diagnosing the problem, first let's understand the strategic importance of the response rate. If there is a low response rate, then it will discourage the user on the platform to initiate the message, which will bring down the engagement on the platform. It will also hit the brand perception of LinkedIn as a networking site for working professional, and reduced communication will also hinder the paid lead generation that a lot of people do on over LinkedIn. That is why we need to think about this. Now that we know how important it is for LinkedIn, how should we go about solving this problem? We will consider the potential factor that can be responsible for the drop in the response rate. The factor can be related to system related factor, external factor, and internal factor. In system related factor, there can be factor related to change in metric definition, change in event and instrumentation, breaking the data pipeline, or related to some timeout or bug. We have discussed each of this in a greater detail in previous videos. You can refer previous video to get a gist of and the detail about this system related issue. Let's assume that there is no such condition here. So we are sorted from the system related issues. Now let's go to the external factor. In external factor, a bunch of factors can cause this issue. For example, if the holiday season is just about to start, like end of the year, and people are already in the vacation mode, it will take a hint in the response rate of the message, right? In that case, we should not be even worry about this drop because it is a seasonal drop. The second reason can be the tough job market condition in which people have got a lot busier in their own job and become less responsive to others since their organization doesn't have jobs. So they are not replying that. It can also happen. The third can be the negative coverage. Suppose recently there has been a lot of outburst of the lot of scams on the LinkedIn. This will make user more cautious about responding to the messages, especially from the unknown senders. Lastly, it may happen that some of the competitor like Grapevine has come into the market, which has become more engaging for working professional, and they have become less responsive on LinkedIn. It can be the wide possibility. But let's assume that nothing has happened on the external front in the last 2 weeks that could have caused a potential drop in the response rate on LinkedIn. Now that we have eliminated the external factors as well, let's think about the internal reasons via funnel journey. Let's start with the funnel journey. When you receive a message on the LinkedIn, you get to know about the two sources. Either it is a push notification or message button on the top right of the homepage, right? When you tap on the push notification, you will land on the message from a particular connection. And when you tap on the message button on the top right of the homepage, you will land on the list of messages. This list of messages are bifurcated into two parts. There is a focused list of messages and other list of messages as well. The other list of messages contain emails, ads, and some other type of messages. The focus list of messages contain message from your connections. These are direct messages. If you tap on any of the message, so if you tap on any of the message, you will land on the detailed messaging history where you can see the chat history. You can reply to that person using different forms of reply. You can utilize the prompt that is there. You can utilize that prompt to send the messages via one tap. You can also share PDF document. You can also use voice note here. So basically it is like a chat. This is how the journey will look like. I hope you are able to get it. Now let's see some of the metrics to get the idea where in the funnel the drop is happening. What can be the possible hypothesis? First thing, you will see the daily active users and the number of session per user. This will tell about the traffic and the engagement of the traffic on the platform. Suppose from the data, this looks fine. That means there is no issue in the top of the funnel traffic. Next, we will check about the push notification. Have the number of push notification reduced? No, that is also looking fine. Other metrics which will track are the clicks on the push notification. It may happen that we have changed the representation of push notification and people are not able to comprehend and not clicking on it. In that case, the number of clicks on the push notification will get reduced. But suppose that the CTR on the push notification are also looking fine. Last, we see the CTR on the message icon at the top right of the homepage of the LinkedIn. Has CTR reduced on that button? But let's assume that all the numbers are looking fine. What does it mean? It means that there is no top of the funnel discovery issue for the message on the platform, right? Let's move forward in the funnel. Now we are at the message list page. This is the message list page where a list of message will be there, whether it is a focus message or others. Here we will see a bunch of metrics like impression of message per session in the message list and message open rate. Impression of message per session will tell you on an average how many message people are seeing in one session. And message open rate will tell you out of all the message the people has seen or users has seen, how many of message they are opening it, right? Both of them are very critical metric. If people are not opening it, then the response rate will naturally drop, right? But both of these metrics are also looking in check. That means that people are coming till the message list page and they are also seeing the message and opening it. So there is no issue looking here in that case, right? Let's move forward in that funnel. Here we will check metrics if the prompts are appearing or not, if number of prompts get reduced or not, if people are clicking on prompt or not. Are people tapping on reply bar? This is the reply bar. Are people tapping on the reply bar or not? Are people sending the reply or not? Right? Have we changed the sending button? Have we changed the configuration of sending button? Are people using voice search more? So these kind of metric we will see. So let's assume that the interviewer gives the following data. Voice reply and text reply is kind of same, but prompt pill adoption has reduced. This is the prompt pills. The prompt pill adoption has reduced. That means people are seeing the number of prompts, but after seeing them, they are not clicking on it. Right? So impression of the prompt are same, but CTR on these prompt has dropped. This is the problem which interview has given to us. What does it mean? It means that people are not using prompt reply as they were doing before, and which eventually had reduced the response rate. Let's see what are the potential hypotheses about this. The first hypothesis is that people are genuinely not replying because it may happen that we have relaxed the criteria of sending message a bit. Earlier, you could send a direct message to your connection, but now you can also send the direct message to your second or third level of connection without even connecting. But this seems unlikely to be the case because in that case, your textual reply will also get reduced, right? It will not have a direct impact on the prompt reply only, right? So it seems unlikely to be the case. The second hypothesis can be the UI UX change related to the prompt, right? Have we changed the UI UX or the position of the prompt spill, which is not as liked by the customer, so they are not using it? But no, we haven't done that, right? So this is also not the case. The third hypothesis can be, have we reduced the number of pills? Instead of giving 3 options in the prompt pill, we are giving only one option of high accuracy. So in the hope of increasing accuracy, we are reducing the recall set of the prompt, and that is degrading the usage of it. But this is also not the case. We are still giving the 3 options in the prompts. The final can be, have we introduced some alternate mode of reply so that users are using that mode and not using the prompt filters or prompt pills. Alternate mode can be GIFs, video notes, or it can be reactions as well. So yes, we are on point. We have recently introduced a reaction feature in which people tend to react thumbs up rather than reply okay. We are able to get it. Yes, people are using thumbs up, thumbs down rather than doing some textual reply. And we have seen a good adoption. This is the mobile version of it. And in the web version also, when you hover on the message, these reaction will come up. So we have seen a good adoption of the reaction after we have launched this feature, which has reduced the text response rate from the prompts. I hope you are able to get it why this has reduced. Now that we know what has caused this drop in the response rate, it is time to think about whether it is good or bad. So how should we do now? So from the customer point of view, it looks like a great feature, right? Because they're using it, but our text response rate also going down, right? So what we will do is we will look into overall platform engagement. If the overall platform engagement is also going down, then we may think of rolling back this feature. But if there is no directional negative impact on overall platform engagement, in that case, we may choose to roll out this feature to 100%. This is how we should go about this. I hope you have learned something new from this video. I will meet you into the next one. Till then, keep learning and keep watching. In the next 10 minutes, I'll discuss an important product interview question, and the question is doing a root cause analysis. So watch the video till the very end because some of the concept I do a voiceover only. Yes. So engagement on the Netflix is down by 5%. How would you go about solving this problem? This question will be different from the ones which we have already discussed. So let's get started with the clarifying question first. I hope everyone is aware about Netflix. So Netflix is subscription based OTT platform where you can watch movies, TV shows, documentary, etc. Right? The first question which we should ask is about what does it mean by engagement? Is this watching the video, that is watch time, or is this like or disliking the content, doing the watch list, or setting the reminder for the content? What is it which we are talking about here? So here the interviewer is talking about the watch time, that is average number of minutes watched daily on the platform. That is what interviewer is referring to here by engagement. Now that we know watch time has fallen by 5%, it is time to think about what type of content it has fallen. That is our second question. Has that watch time fallen only for movies or TV shows, documentaries are also covered? In that also, have we seen this drop in a particular type of genre or content, right? So the interviewer has told us that this drop is seen across different type of content and genre. So there is no specifics for which we have seen this drop. The third question which we should ask is about the time frame of the drop. Also, is the drop is across the device and the platform? So for this, interview has told us that the drop is across the devices and the platform. The final question which we should ask is about the type of user, demography and geography. Is this drop confined to a certain group of people from certain geography or is it across all type of user? So for this, the interviewer has told us that this drop is across all type of users, particularly from India. I think we have got a good idea about the questions, but do let me know in the comment section if some part of the question is still unclear or we could have asked more clarifying question. It will help all of us to develop our thinking process. It is time to summarize whatever we have discussed till now. Netflix has seen the viewership drop across all the type of content on the platform, across all the devices, and this drop is seen primarily in India. Now, what we do before jumping on to the diagnosing the problem, first let's understand the strategic importance of this metric for Netflix. Yes, so average watch time is one of the critical metric and probably the North Star metric for Netflix. It will tell platform effectiveness for user engagement, which will eventually link to the revenue of the platform. That is why it is one of the most critical metric for the Netflix. Now that we know how important it is for Netflix, how should we go about solving this problem? We will consider potential factor that can be held responsible for the drop in the engagement or the viewership for the Netflix. The factor can be related to the system related factor, external factor, and internal factor. For particularly this question, the interviewer told us that they have already checked system related factors and they are not able to find anything. Also, they haven't released a new feature in a couple of months. They want us to focus on the external factor in more detail, which might impact the viewership and also define some of the solution of it. So we have to dig deeper into the external factors. The question is a bit different from the questions which we have already discussed in the past couple of videos. Now let's dig deeper into the external factor. The first factor can be related to the new competitor entering into the market, which is providing free content or free subscription to users. If the quality of the content is also good, then it might happen that 5 or 10% of the user can churn from our platform and go to their platform. This can be one of the potential reasons. The second factor can be the economic downturn or shifting in the consumer spending. It might happen that people with looming fear of recession are not continuing with their subscription of Netflix, but this kind of effect will be gradual, right? It cannot be very sudden. And this kind of behavior can be seen by some kind of pre-facto data analysis of user activity on the platform. The third factor can be related to the seasonality or alternate mode of entertainment. It might happen that there's a holiday season of the year or IPL season of the year in India, which will also take some users away from the Netflix given that people have limited time in the day. The fourth factor can be related to the some legal laws. It might happen that Indian government has tweaked some of the censorship laws in India, which has affected the content supply on the platform. And now people are not able to find enough content and they are churning from the platform, like which is Netflix, and go to the other platform. The fifth factor can be related to the bad or negative PR related to some data security or privacy concern. This can also take away certain set of users from Netflix. The final can be related to the unforeseen circumstances like internet blockout in certain region in India, which has taken away certain viewership from the platform. These can be the potential external factors, and this is not the exhaustive list, but there can be other factors as well. Please comment below if you know some other factor. It will help all of us to learn, right? So do comment in the comment section. So assume that the interviewer told us that the reason is seasonality. Indian Premier League season is going on. That is why they have seen the drop in the 5 or 10% in the viewership from the Netflix, and interviewer want us to give some kind of solution to this. So let's think about what can be the potential solution for this problem. The first thing which we can do is think of IPL behind the scene videos and some off the field videos of certain teams, right? Which might be very entertaining and people will love to watch those series as well. The second thing which Netflix can do is to have some kind of exclusive interview or documentaries of emerging players or best players of the last season or this season, right? This kind of videos will also entertain people. The third thing which the Netflix can do is launch a sachet pricing, right? If we have seen that people are not continuing their Netflix subscription in the IPL season, we can think of launching a pricing which is per TV series based, or let's say pack of 3 movies, which is quite cheaper than the monthly or the yearly subscription. It will help the user to continue their subscription process. So these can be the potential solution of this problem. I think you have learned something new from this video. If you have any doubt, please do comment in the comment section and I'll try to resolve your queries. Till then, keep learning and keep watching. Hi everyone. Today we'll discuss a PM interview question with you, and the question is doing a root cause analysis. So Google Pay has seen a drop of 15% in reward redemption on the platform, and we have to diagnose the issue and see what can be the potential root cause of this. So as usual, you should pause the video and think about the question on your own before watching this video. I hope you have given a fair try to this problem. Let's see how we can go about this. So first, let's understand the question and define the scope of the problem so that we and the interviewer are on the same page. I hope everyone is aware about the Google Pay, but those who don't know about the Google Pay, let me give you a gist of it. Google Pay is a mobile payment service developed by Google which enable user to make payment online. Using Google Pay, you can send money to merchants, friends, families online, right? So this is the main use case of the Google Pay. I hope you have got some gist of what Google Pay is. So as in the question, it is given that reward redemption on the platform has gone down. So when you pay online via Google Pay, you got some coupon rewards which you can redeem on the other platform to get the benefit, right? So these rewards belong to certain brands or merchants which have partnered with Google Pay to list those, right? So here you can see a list of rewards. These are the rewards which a user get when he pays via Google Pay to family, friends, or merchant, right? And you can redeem these rewards and get the benefit out of it. So in the problem statement, it is given that reward redemption has gone down. So the first question which we need to ask is, how do we define this reward redemption? Is it total number of reward redeemed in a day has gone down, or average number of reward redeemed per user has gone down? What is it? So let's assume that we are thinking about the total number of reward redeemed in a day has gone down, and this metric has gone down by 15%. The second question which we need to clarify is about the categories of this reward. So have we seen any pattern in the data that the reward redemption for a particular category has gone down, or is it across all the category? Let's assume that reward redemption has gone down for all the categories which are there on the platform, but we keep adding more and more categories because we are constantly partnering with more and more brands and merchants. The third question which we need to clarify is about the time frame and the nature of the drop. Is it across the platform or device? Let's assume that this drop is across the platform and device, and it is a gradual drop from last 1 month. Also, we should check if this kind of drop has already occurred before, so that to rule out any seasonality aspect of it. The final question which we can clarify is whether this 10% drop is seen across all type of users like new user or repeat user, or across geography like metro or non-metro, or any other thing, right? Let's assume that the drop is across the user demography, geography, but slightly higher in the non-metro. So now I think we have got a good idea about the question, but do let me know in the comment section if some part of the question is still unclear, or we could have asked more clarifying question. You can post that in the comment section. It will help all of us to develop our thinking process. Now it is time to summarize whatever we have discussed till now. So Google Pay has seen a 15% drop in the number of reward redeemed per day from last 1 month across different categories of the reward. And this pattern is there for all type of devices, user, demography, geography, but slightly higher in non-metro. And we need to find the potential cause of it. This is the exact problem statement we have narrowed down to, right? And we have to find the root cause of it. But before jumping on to diagnosing the problem, first let's understand the strategic importance of rewards. Receiving rewards create a positive feedback loop, right? Make a user feel valued. And if rewards are executed in a right way, it can boost the user retention a lot. Always have an idea about the strategic thinking about any feature or initiative. It will help you in other type of interview questions as well. So now what we will do, we will consider the potential factor that can be held to account for the drop in the reward redemption on the platform. And these factors can be related to system related factor, internal factor, and external factors. In the system related factor, there can be factor related to the metric definition. Like, have we changed the way we are calculating the metric? Let's assume that there is no change in the metric definition. The second one can be related to the data pipeline. That means the data source which is powering the metrics is at fault or the pipeline is broken. Let's assume that there is no such condition here. Similarly, there is no issue related to events and instrumentation, nor there is a related issue related to the timeout or the bug. So we are sorted from the system related side. Now let's go to the external factor. In the external factor, a bunch of factor can cause this change. For example, if some competitor like PhonePe or Paytm is giving lucrative awards, incentive and discount, due to which a lot of users are doing transaction on their platform. So the traffic itself coming on the Google Pay has reduced. But this is not the case. The traffic on the Google Pay is in check. The second reason can be the supply of these rewards itself has reduced. So not a lot of brands are interested in partnering with Google to list their rewards on the platform. They might be interested in other platform like PhonePe, Paytm, which itself will reduce the supply of these coupon on the platform, and this will also affect the redemption rate as well. But that is also not the case. In fact, Google Pay has partnered with lot of other categories and brands, and the supply of these reward has increased multifold. That means that supply is not constrained here. The third reason can be the economic slowdown. So the number of transactions on the Google Pay itself has dropped. People are not doing as many transactions as they were doing before, or they are not doing that worth of transaction like before. Why we have taken the worth here? Because it might be the case that you will get a reward if your transaction value is above a certain threshold. But due to the economic slowdown, people are not doing big value worth transaction and they are not getting that much of reward. But that is also not the case. There might be bunch of other external factors like frauds and rewards that have given some negative PR. But for now, let's assume that none of the external factors are causing this issue. We need to think about the something else. Lastly, let's see some of the internal reasons that can cause this issue. So it may happen that we have made some changes to the reward section, like some UX changes, which has reduced the discoverability of the rewards and platform, right? Or some other adjacent team or horizontal team is running some experiments, which can also cause this kind of drop. Or we have done some feature release. So feature release are basically a part of cycle, right? Let's assume that the interviewer want us to dig more deeper into the user funnel. So let's start with the user funnel. User first opens the app and land on the home page of the Google Pay. At home page, you can search for the person you want to pay online. You can pay via phone number or via scanning the QR code. You can also scroll down below and you will find the offer and reward section. And this is one of the entry point to the reward section we are discussing in the question, right? When you click on the reward section, you will land on the reward page. As you can see here on the reward page, you can find a list of rewards. Here, some of the rewards are unscratched, some of the rewards are scratched, and some are expired or soon to expire. You can also scroll down to see the list of rewards and you can tap on any of the reward to know the detail of it. On reaching to the rewards detail page, you find a detailed information about the reward, terms and condition, also a button of redeem now. Tapping on that button will redeem your reward. Now I think the user journey is very clear to you. If you have any question, please let me know in the comment section and I'll be able to solve your queries. Once we have gone through the entire user funnel, it is time to see what are those metrics at each step so that changing or seeing the changes in the metrics, we can build a possible hypothesis why the reward redemption has dropped on the platform. So on the home page, I'll see two different metrics. The first one, daily active users. This will tell you about the traffic, whether the traffic on the platform has reduced or not. The second one is the session per user. This is also very important metrics because it may happen that daily active user is kind of same, but session per user has reduced. What does it mean? People are now less engaged on our platform. This is where we have to see the daily active user as well as the session per user. Let's assume that both of these metrics are in check. That means people are coming to our platform and they are engaged as they were 30 days back. There is no major change in this metric, so we have to move forward. Before moving forward, find out our ebook containing 50 plus product management interview question with detailed solution. It will help you to develop your problem solving and critical thinking ability. Please find the link in the description box or from the pinned comment. Now back to the question. So we have seen what daily active users and session per users are in check. We need to see how many people are scrolling down till the offer and the reward section. So we will see these metrics. First, the impression of the offer and reward section and the CTR of the rewards. We could have also measured the click on the reward directly, but it is always better to break it down. It will give you some additional picture. So let's assume that both of these metrics are also in check. What does it mean? It means that people are coming to the reward section, rewards and offer section, and clicking on the reward button. So there is no problem here. When you are on the reward list page, where you can see a list of reward, we need to check certain metric. First is how many cards are viewed per user and the impression of the cards. This will tell if people are seeing the reward cards. But in the question, it is clarified by the interviewer that we have onboarded different categories of reward, which has in fact multifold the number of rewards available. So the metric card viewed per user and the total number of card views has actually increased up. That is where it is in the green. We will also see the median scroll depth of the reward. This is also increased because people are seeing more cards, but the card click per user has gone down. This means people are viewing the card, but they are not clicking on it. So this can be the potential reasons. If people are not clicking on the reward card, they will not land on the reward detail page where the redeem now button is there. So in that case, less traffic will go to the reward detail page and less people will click on the button redeem now. This is where the reward redemption on the Google Pay has gone down. I hope you are able to understand this. So from this, one thing is very clear that there is no problem with the discovery of the reward. People are still able to go to the reward list page, but they are not doing any redemption. Also, we haven't changed any UI UX of this section. So there is no adaptational challenges to the new UI UX, right? So now the bigger question is, what can be the reason? What are the possible hypotheses why people are not clicking on the cards? So there can be different hypotheses. So now let's see the possible hypothesis why this is happening. So the first is frequent expiry of rewards. That means expiry time of rewards has reduced, which is why a lot of rewards cards has expired. But this is highly unlikely because scroll depth has increased, which means people are now browsing. It would be low if lot of card would be expired. People will not be browsing and the median scroll depth will not increase. So it would be my low confidence hypothesis. The second hypothesis is, as we have onboarded other categories of reward, it might be the case that they are not very relevant to the user. For example, if you are onboarded coupons from food like Swiggy and Zomato and give more visibility to them, it might happen that certain city, maybe non-metro city, don't have that Zomato and Swiggy in their area. So that reward will be irrelevant for those kind of users. That is where the potential drop can happen. So yes, we have onboarded a new category and we are doing a pilot of giving more visibility to these categories, but people are not interested in category, and the category is online food delivery, and this can be our potential reason. Though we have got the solution of the relevancy of the reward that is given to the users has dropped, there can be another third hypothesis, like have we changed the creative structure of the reward? Maybe the creative image is kind of ambiguous and the information is not very clear. This will also reduce the CTR. But no, we haven't changed. So the answer is we have onboarded new categories and giving the visibility to them. That is where rewards are being irrelevant to some of the users. Now since we have got the root cause of it, how would we go about solving that problem? So one way to solve this problem is to give the personalized coupon based on whatever data we have or the transactional history. So here, if we want to bring the visibility to different other categories as well, which we have onboarded, we have to make a fine balance between exploration and exploitation. We can also provide filters with which it would be very easy for the user to tap on that and navigate to the rewards which they are very interested in or the relevant category of rewards. The other thing which we can do is to do a push notification of the rewards that are expiring soon. Those are also relevant, which will also act as an impulse driver, and this will increase the reward redemption rate. I hope you have learned something new from this video. I will meet you into the next one. Till then, keep learning and keep watching. Hi everyone, today we will discuss a PM interview question with you, and the question is doing a root cause analysis. So Zomato has seen a 10% drop in the engagement of user generated content on the platform, and you have to diagnose this issue. So let's get started. But before jumping onto the solution, find out our ebook on real PM interview question with detailed solution, which will help you in the PM interview preparation. Now Back to the question. So as usual, you should pause the video and think about the question on your own before watching the video. I hope you have given a thought to this. First, let's understand the question because the question is open-ended and we have to first understand and define the scope of the problem. Those who don't know about Zomato, Zomato is an Indian restaurant aggregator and food delivery company. Here you can book a table in a restaurant, order your favorite food or grocery online. It's like Uber Eats or DoorDash in the foreign countries. I hope now you have got some sense of what Zomato is. So, as in question, it is given that engagement on the user generated content on the platform has gone down by 10%, right? So, the first question which we need to clarify is what does it mean by user generated content for Zomato? So user generated content for Zomato can be rating and reviews which you give on the platform. It can also be the photos which you contribute while giving rating and reviews, right? So let's assume that the user generated content for this question is rating and reviews which you give after dining in a particular restaurant. The second important question which we need to clarify is what does it mean by engagement? Let's assume that doing like and dislike or sharing the reviews with others or commenting on the reviews defined as an engagement here. So number of like, dislike, share, comments on the restaurant review have reduced by 10% on the platform. The third question which we need to clarify is about the time frame and the nature of the drop. Is it across the platform or across the devices? Let's assume that the drop is across the platform and devices and it is a gradual drop from last 1 month. The final question which we can clarify is whether this 10% drop is seen across users cohort, geography, category and cuisine or it is something specific because there are different category of restaurant on Zomato. There are different cuisine of restaurant on Zomato, right? So is this drop seen across different category or cohort or cuisine, or it is something very specific to particular category or particular cuisine? So let's assume that the drop is across the user cohort and cuisine category, right? I think we have got a good idea about the question, but do let me know in the comment section if some part of the question is still unclear. It will help all of us to develop our thinking process. Now it is time to summarize whatever we have discussed till now. So Zomato has seen a 10% decrease in the like dislike share on the dining reviews across the platform, devices, restaurant, geography, and cuisine. And we need to find the root cause, right? This is the exact problem which we are trying to solve here. Before jumping into diagnosing the problem, first let's understand the strategic importance of rating and reviews. So rating and reviews for a restaurant Zomato platform act like a trust marker and it eases up the decision making for the user on the platform. Also, it drives the conversion because the restaurant which have rating and reviews have better chance to get converted than the ones which don't. In an interview, it is always better to know about the strategy behind any initiative or the feature. Now, what we will do, we will consider the potential factors that can be held to account for the drop in the engagement. And the factors can be related to the system related factors, internal factors, external factors. Right. In the system related factor, there can be factors related to the metric definition like have we changed the way we are calculating the metric? Let's assume that there is no such change in the metric definition. The second one can be related to the data pipeline. That means the data source which is powering the metric is at fault or the pipeline is broken. Let's assume that there is no such condition here. The third thing can be incorrect event and instrumentation. By events and instrumentation, what I mean is when you make some feature, you always configure some events. For example, when you hit the like button on the rating and reviews, a click event will be fired based on which you will calculate the metrics. So it might happen that in some app session, the events are not at all triggering or some event are unnecessarily triggering. This may also change your metrics value. Let's assume that there is nothing like this happening in this case. The fourth can be some service related issue which is causing some type of timeout or on the rating and review section. This is highly unlikely to be the issue because if that is the case, the metric would have dropped abruptly and honestly it is hard to bypass all the regression testing which we generally do. So let's assume that there is no such issue related to this and this means that system is also working fine. Now we are sorted from the system related issue. Now let's go to the external factor. In the external factor, a bunch of factor can cause this change. For example, if some competitor like Swiggy has also launched a similar dining related feature where you can see the menu reviews, it can happen that the overall traffic coming to the rating and review section is dropping, right? Which will eventually drop in the engagement as well. Or it might be the reason that people are now going to the social media or any food influencer video for getting the reviews about the restaurant. This might also cause overall traffic coming to this section get reduced. Now you are able to relate that, right? There might be a bunch of other external reasons as well, but for now let's assume that none of these external factors are causing this issue, and we need to think about the other factors. So now we will need to focus on the internal reasons which can cause this issue. So it might happen that we have made some changes to the rating and review section, like adding some more functionality or making some UI changes or making some changes related to the representation of the section in some of the other form, which can also cause this kind of issue. It may also happen that some of the adjacent or the horizontal team is running some experiment which is causing this drop. So it is always better to know what other related feature can cause this drop as well, right? Let's assume that some changes have been made and we need to think about the potential changes which can cause this issue. So now we will have to see the entire funnel. So let's start with the funnel journey. So user first opens the app and start discovering. There are different ways in which user can discover on Zomato. Also, it depends on the intent of the user. For example, someone who is high in intent will use search, but someone who is in the intent of browsing will use the home page. So what are the potential sources through which user discover on the platform? It can be search, it can be home page, it can be also notification as well, right? Since we are thinking about the rating and reviews for the dining, I will go in that section only. So user can search for restaurant or the dishes. Depending on the search, the user will land either on the restaurant list page or restaurant detail page. The user can also click on the dining section in the bottom nav and go to the dining page, which has lot of bunch of collection, recommendation and infinite scroll, where the user can click and go to the restaurant detail page. From the restaurant detail page, he can scroll more and go to the rating and review section. In that section also, he can go deeper into the rating and reviews detail page, and from there he can do some kind of interaction like and dislike, commenting on the rating and reviews. I hope whatever the image we are presenting here, the funnel is kind of very clear. That is where we are also attaching some of the screenshot of the app. Now let's see the metrics across the funnel to get the idea what change has happened. So for the top of the funnel, we will see daily active user and number of session per user. If that is in check, then there is no issue at the top of the funnel. Let's assume that both of these metrics are looking fine. After that, we will see search session, number of searches per session, or search query abandonment rate. What does it mean by search query abandonment rate? Out of all the searches which user is firing, they are not doing anything on the result. They are just abandoning the search and doing the search again. That is abandoned query. All these metric will tell if there is an issue in the search funnel or the understanding of the search is broken on the platform. It may happen that because some of the people are using some regional languages and we are not able to understand that. That can broke our search funnel. But let's assume that all of these metrics are in check and our search funnel is looking healthy. We will also see the CTR of the dining section on the bottom nav. Let's assume that all of these are looking fine as well. After that, user may land on the restaurant list page or dining homepage. There we need to see the traffic on the dining homepage session, recommendation click-through rate, recommendation impression, and also the infinite scroll, impression and CTR. All of these we need to check. And for particularly restaurant list page, we will see list page session, list page to detail page conversion. Let's assume that all of these metrics are also in check. Let's deep dive more into the funnel. We'll see restaurant detail page session, number of impression of review section, CTR on see all reviews button. Let's assume that everything is in check. That means people are going into the review section as well as going into the review detail section as well. In the review detail section, we will see number of impression of all the reviews. Let's assume that number of impression of the reviews has fallen. That's mean that we had made some changes due to which people are coming till the review detail section but not seeing the number of reviews which they were doing before, and that is why they are not interacting much, so the engagement is also fallen. So we have identified that people are not seeing as many reviews as they were doing before, so we need to discover why that is the case. So why there can be the drop? There can be multiple such reasons due to which there can be a drop. The first thing can happen is adoption of the search bar at the top. So the adoption of search bar has increased. That means people are now searching for particular reviews and are not exploring the reviews by scrolling further. Earlier they were scrolling more, but now because due to the adoption of this search bar has increased, this will reduce the impression and eventually the engagement. But this is not likely the case because this is not the change we have made. The second can be we have introduced some kind of pill filters where the order of the pills is also personalized, and adoption of this pill filter is kind of increasing. That means that people are now just seeing the rating and reviews which matter most to them by tapping on some of the pills and not scrolling as more reviews as they were doing before, which can also decrease the engagement. And the third reason can be the ranking of the reviews are personalized. So here, based on the attribute which matter most to you, the most appropriate review will come at the top, and the user will be able to get the information which he wanted without much exploring the reviews. These can be the potential changes we might have done. So there can be other changes as well which might lead to the engagement in the top. So yes, we have introduced the pill filter at the top. People are using the pill filters more. The adoption of pill filter on the review details section has increased. So earlier people were exploring more and more reviews and seeing on an average about 10 to 15 reviews. But now when we introduce the pill filter, they are seeing the reviews which matter most to them, and the impression of those reviews has come down to from 10 to 15 to 4 or 5, due to which the engagement is also dropped. So the next important thing is to see what we should do in this case, because this feature looks like a very good feature which is improving the user experience, but on the other side reducing some kind of engagement. So if we have to make the decision, should we go ahead with this feature or we should roll back this feature? We will look at the overall platform goodness and other guardrail metric to decide if we should go ahead with this or should we roll back this feature. Also, we will do some kind of user research to get the insight about the feature. Accordingly, we'll decide whether to go ahead with feature or not. I hope you have learned something new from this video. I will meet you into the next one. Till then, keep learning and keep watching.